Hey Lance, so let's take a look. We have this graph and we are told it is sine, and then we're supposed to find all of these things which will give us, I have the cosine version, because I think on the retry you have a cosine. I'll do that one in a second as well. But so we're trying to figure out what these coefficients are, and I think it was this one that you're asking about. And I think the c isn't actually a half, I think it's actually pi over 2, but let me explain kind of where that comes from. It looks like on the original, or the one that I can see on the homework, get my keyboard out of the way, you're able to find the period okay. I'm going to go ahead and do that here anyhow. So right here, the period is, if I go from tip to tip, that is 2. And then what that gives me is b, which I need to know in terms of this solving for c right here. So the period is 2 pi over b. I think you did this part fine, but let me just go ahead and run through it. And dividing the 2 over, we get b is pi. So then we can use that to find the phase shift. So there's 3 things here. There's the phase shift, c, and b. I know b, I can read the phase shift from the graph, and that's going to let me find c, which is the thing that goes right here. So the phase shift, and here's where we have to be a little careful. We know we're working with sine, and so the key point is right there. And it's easy to look at that point on the axis and think that has something to do with something. But what you want to do is think about where's the midline of this. It'd be cutting right through there. The amplitude would be, the A on this would be 4. And so this point that was here, and it's been shifted down 1. And so that's the D on that. But so this point right here, if this was just a plain old sine wave, would be at 0, 0. So the phase shift on that is 1/2. So that's where I'm getting that 1/2. And so we know that 1/2 is equal to C, the thing I am interested in figuring out, over B, which is pi. And then multiplying both sides by pi, I get 1/2 pi equals C, or I can also think of it as pi over 2 is C. So just a little careful, the C isn't actually a half, it's actually, it includes the pi over 2 once we solve. The phase shift is a half, but the value for C is actually pi over 2. And then that's the same as for this one right here. If we think of, I think this one was cosine, let me double check. Yep, so this one's cosine, so it's a little easier to read the 1/2 off of there. So this has been stretched again, but the important point is that top right there should be at the axis. It starts off normally at 0, 1. And so it's been shifted 1/2, so it's the exact same math as this one, and that's how that gets to be that pi over 2 right there. And then B, there we go, there's the pi, because the same thing. This goes from 1/2 to 5/2. So the period is 2, which isn't what this is. The period is 2 pi over b, and so we're putting the 2 in right there and then solving for b. So hopefully that answers that. If not, give me a holler.